Hey guys, what's going on? SpitBrix here, back for another LEGO Ninjago video, and in this video we're going to be checking out every single Ninjago Polybag that has ever been made. Ever since 2011, LEGO has continued to create different polybags for all the different waves of Ninjago sets, and we even know of some that are coming for 2019. We seem to get a lot of different polybags all the time. There are always new ones coming out, and as far as right now, there are over 40 unique polybags that we've gotten for the Ninjago line. And so that's a lot of polybags, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We'll start with polybags from the first wave of Ninjago sets back in 2011. This one in front of you right now is Dragonflight. We get a original Kai minifigure in this set, and it's interesting to note that on the artwork and the polybag, it actually has Cole's face print there instead of Kai's. However, whenever you open up the set, it is in fact a Kai minifigure headpiece, not a Cole headpiece. In 2011, we also got the Ninja Training Polybag. In fact, 2011 had a lot of different polybags, as you'll see. This one comes with an original J minifigure and a cool little training post with swords. This is Frackjaw, and he comes in the Skeleton Chopper polybag. This is one of my favorites for the 2011 wave of polybags that we ended up getting. I think this is a pretty cool looking build, and the bones on the top there for the propellers of the helicopter I think is a really cool touch. This is still one of my favorite Ninjago polybags that have been released to this day. Now here's a polybag that was one of my first Ninjago sets. I remember I got into the spinners first, and then I bought the very small set out of the 2011 wave, and then I bought this polybag. And this is the Ninja Glider, comes with the Zane minifigure, and a bunch of those golden sword pieces there for this glider. It's a pretty cool build, I have to admit. It's very clever, it's very small, however that's usually what you get for polybags. And apparently in 2011, LEGO thought it was a good idea just to put a J minifigure in a polybag. He has a black katana, and you guys can see the cool artwork for the Spinjitzu tornado around him. Now here's one of the more rare and exclusive polybags for the Ninjago line, and this one is an exclusive, I believe, to Toys R Us. They had a special building event, and if you went you could get this for free. It's basically a sword holder stand with a printed tile on the back that says LEGO Ninjago. This was really cool. And also around this same sort of time, Toys R Us had their spinner building event, basically where you could go and battle other people with the original Ninjago spinners, and they were giving out these exclusive bricks there. I personally got my hands on one of them. It's very, very cool. One of my favorite sort of exclusive Ninjago pieces that I own. Wrapping up the 2011 wave of Ninjago polybags is this Brickmaster polybag. This one's pretty clever. It's basically a mini build of the Turbo Shredder, which was an original LEGO Ninjago set. And this polybag happens to be one of the more uncommon polybags out of the year of Ninjago for 2011. Now moving into the next year, 2012, with the Serpentine, we have the Jumping Snakes polybag here, which was a pretty cool one with the mechanism where the new snake pieces for this year could jump out at a JZX minifigure. There was also the Hidden Sword polybag, which this polybag was literally everywhere. Any store you went to, or at least in the US around where I live, this polybag was super plentiful. If you wanted this polybag, it was very easy to get it. Now, there was also this polybag for 2012 here with a ZX Cole minifigure, and you guys want to know what this polybag's called? It's officially called Car. What a creative name, LEGO. Also, similar to the 2011 J polybag, the 2012 had a Ratla polybag, and this one was pretty evident around as well. It wasn't very popular though, since you could get this Ratla minifigure in the $15 Kai's Blade cycle at the time. There was also this exclusive Kendo J Booster Pack polybag, which was exclusive to LEGO stores, and you could only get it if you bought over a specific amount, got over that threshold, and then you got it for free, so it was relatively hard to get your hands on, and it goes for around $10 US to this day. Here's definitely one of the rarest polybags out of this season of Ninjago. It's sort of a Venomari Shrine promotional exclusive polybag. Doesn't really have an official name, but here it is. And there was also another one that was literally just a spinner crown. This is the same one that could be found in the spinner for Lasha at the time. Not really sure what the point of this was. It wasn't in the United States as far as I recall, but who knows, maybe it was. As we move on, you may notice that we're now in Rebooted, and there was no polybags for the final battle season of Ninjago, which was pretty interesting. Basically, every single season of Ninjago has had at least one polybag, but the final battle did not. But this polybag is definitely one of my favorites and was definitely a fan favorite. However, it ended up being overproduced maybe because my Toys R Us had so many of these, it was ridiculous. This is the Dareth vs. Nindroid set and was a great way to get the Dareth minifigure at the time. For the Tournament of Elements season of Ninjago, LEGO released this kind of interesting polybag here that was called the Ninjago Accessory Pack. It didn't really have any LEGO bricks in it except for a very small build. It had a keychain in it, a map, a poster. Yeah, I don't really know, but hey, it's a different polybag. There was also the Anacondri Battle Mech, which you guys are probably familiar with. This was another one that's worth basically nothing right now because it was everywhere whenever it was released. Now, nonetheless, the reason why I really like this Battle Mech is it fits perfectly and complements the Jay's Nano Mech, also from the Tournament of Elements season of Ninjago. I mean, these are perfect companions for each other. They're basically the same scale and would make some really cool battling between them. We also got the Kai Drifter polybag, which is a pretty cool looking polybag until you build it and realize it's super tiny. There was also the Scenery and Dagger Trap polybag, which is another one of the peculiar ones. It even has like an outline of a minifigure showing that, you can put a minifigure next to the build, but, there isn't a minifigure that comes in this polybag. Instead, it's just this like cardboard outline and a very small build. Next up, we're moving into the Possession season of Ninjago, in which the main polybag here was the Cowler Dragon, which was actually one of my favorite polybags at the time. It's a pretty cool looking build and complements some of the other smaller dragons we've gotten in previous polybags. There was also the Sky Pirates battle for the Skybound season of Ninjago. This one actually came with a minifigure, which is cool, comes with an eye patch, as well as a few more additions here and there. The Skybound plane is next, and although this is a very creative and clever build, it's definitely unique compared to other polybags. It once again was pretty much everywhere, and so if you did want this set, it was luckily very easy to get your hands on it. LEGO sure does like to make small dragons, because up next we got another one. This is Kai's Mini Dragon, similar to a lot of other mini dragons we've gotten in past polybags. This one though has a lot of fire aspects. It's really cool to use that sort of wing piece there that was back for Chima in the very back for the tail, the fire tail of this mini dragon. For Day of the Departed, we got the Anchor Jet polybag, which is very similar to the Skybound plane. And with saying that, they are very good complements of each other. If you have both of them, they look very nice together. Now at this point, LEGO started making these Woo Crew training sets. This one being the Training Dojo, came with a Sensei Woo minifigure as well as a J minifigure. And these were really good polybags because we usually got 2 minifigures in each of them, and they were relatively, uncommon minifigures to have at that time. For example, we have the Woo Crew's Master Training Ground set, which was actually a Hands of Time polybag. Comes with the Titanium Ninja Zane as well as Ninja Nia with a hairpiece, which is a cool addition. I have this set, and it was definitely worth the $5 that I paid for it. Another Hands of Time polybag was the Stealthy Swamp Airboat set, which is another pretty clever build. It's unlike any other polybag that we have gotten for LEGO Ninjago, and I definitely respect that. Now, as you guys know, the Ninjago movie had a ton of different polybags. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on each one, however, I did want to put them in this video because technically they are still from the Ninjago line. The first one here is the Sensei Woo keychain. We also had the Movie Maker set, which these are kind of interesting, but we did get a cool minifigure in it. We got the Training Suit J. For the movie, Kai got his very own Dojo Pod. This is Kai's Dojo Pod polybag, and I always look at Kai's face on this polybag and think it looks kind of weird. Maybe it's shifted down a little bit, or maybe his hair isn't all the way on. I don't know, maybe that's just a graphic looking glitch on this polybag. Now here's one of the polybags that definitely stands out from the rest. This was kind of a weird one at the time because fidget spinners were kind of on the decline whenever this was revealed and released. This set definitely had its draw because of the 2x2 printed tiles. We got 3 the Ninja as well as Garmadon and Sensei Woo. This is basically a LEGO official fidget spinner. Now, you can't forget about the mini builds we got of the sets. This was the Green Ninja Mech Dragon, pretty much micro build, and there was also another version of this polybag that had an exclusive sticker on it if you got it at San Diego Comic-Con. It's the exact same polybag, they just put a sticker on it. There was also this exclusive hooded Lloyd figure, which basically got everywhere, and at one point you could buy it off of Target.com for $2.99 and get free shipping on it, which was an absolutely phenomenal deal, but it definitely made it one of the most common polybags from this line. Here's the mini build of the ice tank, and we also got Kendo Lloyd in his own polybag with that code on the bottom so you can unlock him in the video game. Don't forget about the mini Quake Mech polybag, and with that, that's going to wrap up the LEGO Movie polybags. Now for Sons of Garmadon, we got Zane's Kendo Training Pod as a polybag. As far as these pods go, you either really like them or you're really not a fan, but I do like that build over on the left half of it. For this wave of Ninjago sets, the polybag that definitely stuck out from the rest was this very weird Woo Crew Target training polybag, which featured Neo with her old hairstyle before the movie, as well as a Lloyd figure in the training outfit with a hairpiece that really he's never worn ever. I personally came to the conclusion that LEGO was using this polybag to get rid of some excess stock that they had on some of these hair pieces, and so that's why they put it into this polybag. We then got the Sons of Garmadon polybag, in which I have to admit the build is pretty cool, but as far as the minifigure, he's on my top 10 least valuable Ninjago minifigures list because this polybag was everywhere. We also got a polybag called Turbo, and that is definitely a better name than just Car, which we got for Cole's car in 2012. As far as this polybag you see in front of you right here, I'm not even sure if it really got released, and if it did, it didn't in the United States, I don't believe. This was a very weird one whenever it was released. Nobody really knew what it was supposed to be for. It had like a shuriken in it, some like target practice, chopsticks maybe? I don't even know. And it had this cartoon boy playing with it. Moving into more modern day polybags, we have the Dragon Hunter polybag with the baby ice dragon. And don't forget about this pretty interesting one, which appears to be some sort of board game. This was common in more European countries than in the United States. Supposedly, it was a game that you could play. It had like a spinner in it, as well as a shooter where you could try and shoot down for target practice, but it's definitely unique. Now, what most of you guys have been waiting for, we have some of the Ninjago Legacy polybags, or at least this one in front of you right now. Of course, there will most likely be more than just one polybag. LEGO usually does like 2 or 3 per season, it seems like, these past couple years. And so for Ninjago Legacy, this is the first polybag that has been revealed. It is set number 30535. Unknown where you can find it at this point, since it is pretty early. But once again, you guys can see on this minifigure here of Kai, there's something wrong. He has the brand new 2019 head wrap or ninja wrap on, but his torso there, that is the Sons of Garmadon torso. Now, once again, I believe LEGO just put that in here because they probably had a lot of extra pieces of that torso that were not used. Maybe they did an overproduction accidentally, and now they have it in this polybag, so that's kind of interesting. But this is one of the polybags for 2019 of Ninjago. And continually look at the build of this set. It's another mini fire dragon. We've gotten plenty of these before, but I guess it's totally fine since Ninjago Legacy, all the sets are pretty much remakes. And those are all the LEGO Ninjago Polybags that have ever been released. Some of them are a lot more exclusive and rare than others, some of them are very, very common, and I want you guys to comment down below which one of these polybags is your guys' favorite of all time, and how many of these polybags you guys have. There are over 40 of them that we just looked at in this video, and I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up down below, and if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button so you guys do not miss out on any further LEGO Ninjago content. As always, have a great day. I'm SpitBrix, and I'll see you guys in the next video coming very soon.